Maine to Wallingford and throughout the world, welcome to a very special edition of Monsoon Live, coming to you live from Woodland, Pennsylvania. I'm your host, Jeffrey Monsoon Mysick. And yes, we've had a couple technical glitches with our new camera, so we decided let's shoot it here in Woodland. We want to start with one quick thing about Paris. Our thoughts and prayers are with the country and with the families and victims of those affected by this horrific tragedy that has been going on this past week. We also want to give a shout out to our buddy Jarrell and the Olivet boxing team. Big weekend this past weekend for them. So I want to say congrats to them. Now today's going to be a different format than we normally do. We're going to talk about boxing first, and then we got to get to the weather forecast because we're going to unveil the official winter weather forecast, my prediction for this coming winter season. But first, let's go to the boxing news. And we talked about this with him last week on our show. Our buddy Jarrell basically had his 40th fight. And guess what, folks? He won it in a split decision. Also, one of his teammates, Evan Rimmer, won his first fight. Evan been training for almost a year, won his first fight. So congratulations to both of them. Jarrell's in action on Saturday, this past Saturday. We'll cover that fight for you next week. In other boxing news, a fight that I watched this morning was Edwin Rogers defeating Michael Sears in an amazing 3 rounds of boxing. Edwin got knocked down 2 times in the first round, came back and just destroyed his opponent. And by the 3rd round, it was game, set, match, and Edwin picked up the fight, picked up the W. So, and also the big fight that everyone is counting down next week, Cota Alvarez. I'll be making my prediction for that fight next week and how I think it's going to play out, and then we'll cover that following week. So a couple big fights coming up at the end of November, going into December. We're going to cover all of that next in the coming weeks. But it's time for Weather NG right here on our YouTube channel. Let's first get you the forecast for the Philadelphia metropolitan area. If you like today, enjoy it. It's going to be sunny and nice today and tomorrow. Temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. The week ahead, we're pumping up the heat. We're going to go up to near 70. It's going to feel like spring, not fall. But we're going to have some thunderstorms coming in on Thursday, possibility of Friday, and we'll be going into a cool down as we start getting ready for the Thanksgiving weekend. And next week, we will unveil the Thanksgiving forecast for your travel plans. But it's time. I have here the most exclusive winter forecast. This one is a monster forecast for us. I combined 3, 6, 10, AccuWeather, NWX, Weather.com. Heck, I even threw in the Farmer's Almanac just for good measure to make sure we shore up everything. This is my prediction for what the winter forecast for the Philadelphia area is going to be for 2015 going into 2016. Now again, this is based on all the data that's out there and all the forecasts, and plus my view on how it's going to look. So let's break it down. First, we all know about the big El Nino. That's going to play a role for us. It could mean more moisture and less snow. We also have the big issue with a warm-up in the Pacific. That's going to affect us as well. Now, if you like snow, we got another thing to add to this forecast, and it's called the North Atlantic Oscillation and the Arctic Oscillation. So all this plays a factor if you're in Philadelphia or Ohio or Wisconsin. All of this. So you might have snowy weather out in Wisconsin. You might have snowy weather in Chicago. Here in Philadelphia area, you may have nothing. But here it is. You combine all this and you get the following for the Philadelphia area. December and January, Temperatures in our area will be above normal with some records. February and March, below normal. I'm predicting 3 to 4 big snowstorms, and I see February as the big month for big storms. What I mean is, all the snow accumulations for our area could occur in February. Final numbers for our area, 25 to 40 inches, and that's depending on what happens with the NAO and with all the other stuff going on. And for those who want a white Christmas, I'm sorry guys, I'm giving you a 30% chance. But that is how it's going right now. It's gonna be crazy. The forecast for all the areas, we're gonna try to pinpoint them when we go into the wintertime for some areas. So if there's an area you wanna know about, let us know, we'll talk about it on the show. But that is the forecast, the winter weather forecast for the Philadelphia area. We'll see how accurate I am in March. Maybe I'm completely wrong. We'll find out. But now we're going to go into my closing thoughts. We're doing a little bit of a short show today because of what's going to be going on over the next few weeks. First off, I am proud to announce that in the coming weeks, we got 3 big interviews coming right here on Monsoon Live. The first one, he is an amazing indie wrestler, indie pro wrestler. His name is Crazy Shay. He will be our guest next week right here on Monsoon Live. And also, we got a surprise wrestler coming in following him. We can't tell you yet. We're going to work on that. And on December 5th, an inspirational boxer who I've followed for many years, Steve Cunningham. We're going to be Skyping him on Monsoon Live as well. So it's going to be an amazing ride with those guys. Also, you're going to see some prep work for yours truly with boxing. And with all of that, we're getting ready for Mania. We're getting ready for the holiday season. I can now confirm the first member in the class, our Hall of Fame class of 2016. He's a dear friend of mine. He works for hopefully I don't mess this up for him, WSAW News Channel 7 in Wisconsin. Monsoon Live's very own other weatherman, Mark Holly. Mark was a member of the morning announcing team at my old high school. He was also a kicker for the football team. And Mark has an amazing career up in Wisconsin. And we're going to be inducting him into the Monsoon Live Hall of Fame this March. So we have that going on. But we're going to now move on to the closing thoughts. First of all, I want to thank everybody that has been tuning in. It's been a great ride, and we got some really great shows coming for you in the coming weeks. But I want to thank, this past week was Veterans Day. And I want to thank all the veterans who serve our country and their families. I have a couple friends that are in the military or are no longer in the military, but they are veterans. And I want to say thank you for keeping us safe. And in light of all the stuff that's going on right now with the attacks in Paris, the heightened security, all of this, I just want to say this. We got to stand together. We have to pray for the victims and their families and hope for peace in this time. You know, tonight we stand up together as one to show we do not fear evil, and we're not going to let that stop living our lives. Just some food for thought in these crazy times that we're going through. But that's it for this week. Next week, Crazy Shay. Hope you guys have a great week, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, and of course on the exclusive website monsoonlive.org. But for now, this has been a special edition of Monsoon Live. We'll see you next week with the crazy man himself. Keep it real.